Today with our Prema Bhakti Candrika verse number 59. You will do translation, Tamani? No. Okay. Last verse was about how to meditate on Siddhadeha. This was last week's subject. And it was very much about how the mind is such a powerful help in devotion. How the mind should become fixed on mental service of Sri Radha Mohan, and how the power of thought will be multiplied when it is connected to the saints, all the saints' power of thought. That is a very, very beautiful point. Because my mind maybe is not always so strong, but when I connect my mind to the mind of all the saints, like we are here now with which saint? We are here now with actually Narottam Das Thakur and also Vishwanath Chakravarti's Tika and Ananda Das Babaji Maharaja's Tika or commentary. So we have a lot of prasad. Prasad is always not only food that we take as a remnant from the plates of Radha Mohan or Gurudev or any Vaishnava, but also prasad is coming from the power of meditation that is fixed to the meditation of the saints. That is a very powerful point here that Baba made. How to connect my mind to the mind of Raghunath Das Goswami, of Rupa Goswami. Radhe Radhe, welcome Indureka and Ananda Krishna Dasi. How to connect my mind to the mind of all the other acharyas, of all other, he calls it here in general, the like-minded grace power of the wise man of yore. Of yore means of many generations, of our Guru Parampara, of our Sampradaya. And now in the next verse also he will quote another verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That is a verse that was composed by our Srila Rupa Goswami. And it's called Tat Tat Kata Ratascha Shau Kuryat Vasang Braje Sada. Remembering Krishna and his favorite, beloved, eternal associate of Krishna, the practitioner should always reside in Vraj, greatly attached to conversing about them. Again, I will recite. Remembering Krishna and his favorite, beloved, eternal associate, the practitioner should always reside in Vraj, greatly attached to conversing about them. So that's what we are doing. We are remembering Krishna. And like Baba says, what is the expertise in Raganuga Bhakti? Not only Krishna, but remembering Krishna and his associates. Srila Thakur Mahashai backs up by his own words by reciting the example of this shloka from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, written by Srila Rupa Goswami. The Mula Acharya means the founding teacher of the Gaudiya Sampradaya, who is the incarnation of Vraja's very famous or very Vraja's own Rupa Manjari. So we see also that Raghunath Das Goswami, is the disciple of Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami here is explained as the Mula Acharya, is the root. Mul means root. The original teacher of Raganuga Bhakti. And not only that, of all kinds of Bhakti. He is the founding teacher of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. And who is he or she? She is Rupa Manjari. So it comes by the teachings of Rupa Manjari also that we meditate on Krishna not alone. Not we meditate on Krishna just like how he's, playing the flute or how he's in the forest of Vrindavan, but always in the mood of his dearest friends. And in our case, of his dearest Srimati Radhika. So first of all, he says, Krishna smaran janam chasya prishtam nija sammihitam. Remember playful Sri Brajendra Nandana and your own favorite associates of him, like Sri Radha, Lalita, Vishaka, and Rupa Manjari, according to one's own proper mood. Meaning the erotic mood. So here this is very important. We're not meditating on Krishna alone. Always we are meditating on Krishna and the mood of any of the followers of Sri Rupa Manjari. Because that is our mood. We are in the line of Rupa Goswami. Baba is mentioning also Radha or Lalita Vishaka, but this is, of course, we know it's another meaning. To follow them, it means we are in Sakhi Bhav, friendship mood. But we are following the mood of Rupa Goswami, of Rupa Manjari, who are in Bhava Ulasa Rati, that they are the like-minded maidservants who always serve Radha to come together with her beloved Mohan. And that is the mood that we aspire in our meditation. That is important to always be fixed in that mood. That is what Gurudev is teaching us. How to be fixed in the mood. This we can understand from philosophical understanding, but also especially when we go to Vrindavan and when we try to absorb into the feelings of a Manjari, into the feelings of a Dasi, how to do that every day. How to always be feeling like a shadow of Srimati Radhika. And Baba continues. This means that in Raga Nuga Bhajan, the item of Smaran is predominant. Since Raga is a mental religion. Here again he is using this Gurudev, mental religion. The famous word. The very nature or dharma of the mind is raga, attachment or passion. And therefore, mental worship is the root cause of raga, nuga, bhajan. So that is also an interesting point. And often we think, how can I always remember Radha Mohan? How can I always remember my service? How can I always be in that feeling? And Baba says, use the mind, because the mind is always, the tendency of the mind is to always be attached to whatever it thinks of. That is my checking point. I have to check myself. What am I thinking of? Where is my craving? Where am I attached? And to place that attachment to the mood of a manjari who always is in the feelings of wanting to be close to Srimati Radhika, wanting to serve Srimati Radhika, wanting to feel like her shadow. And that's why we also go to Vrindavan, because this is not only a theory, it needs to be practiced every day. And when we are in the association with the devotees who are practicing this, again, this point, if they are in their Swarup, means their internal mood of being a Dasi of Srimati Radhika, also some of these feelings can come and reflect in my heart. Because my heart and my mind are easily, how do you say that? Floating here and there, everywhere. But to come in the stable feelings of a Brajabasi, of a servant of Sri Rupa Manjari, Sri Raghunath Das, of Sri Guru Manjari, that is something to practice. In the other class, Gurudev also said, first we start with Rupa, with Guru Manjari, because this is now our person who is helping us to do that. So the focus is on the person who is our guide, who is our shining light, who is helping me to get these feelings, to get these corrections. So Baba is very nicely explaining the mind needs to be attached because the very nature of the mind is raga, attachment. So hence, mental worship is the root cause of raga nuga bhajan. Still, the external practice of hearing and chanting must not be neglected or given up. This is to be noted specifically. The external practice of hearing and chanting should not be neglected or given up. The perfection of allegiance to the Vraja people cannot be achieved by giving up external practices like hearing and chanting. So this also is a very, very interesting point, because sometimes the people think, oh, I just go in my cottage, in my kutir, in my hut, in my room, and I meditate all the time about the leelas, and that will give me the mood of a maid servant of Srimati Radhika, of a Radha Dasi. But no, Baba says it doesn't work like that. That is a wrong assumption. The practices like hearing and chanting nourish the inner smaran, the inner memories, the inner feelings. It will not come by itself. We need to listen and become inspired from hearing and chanting. Because these practices are giving the feelings and the inspirations that we need to grow my own feelings. Because if we think about it, hearing and chanting, what are we chanting? We are hearing about the Vilapa Kusmanjali, about Radha Ras Sudha Nidhi. We are chanting the verses of different beautiful stories, and we are chanting also the songs of Narottam Das Thakur. So these are also remnants. These are also prasadi. So in the same way that by hearing and chanting, some prasad is coming into my heart so that I can grow my feelings in the right direction. It will never happen by just sitting alone and try to do it alone. Always we need the mercy of the prasad, of the remnants of our great acharyas, teachers, and all our great songs that we have from Narottam Das Thakur. All these songs are full of the feelings of Narottam Das, who is Champaka Manjari. So that is very important. And Baba said we should note it. We should specifically note it. Don't try to sit down somewhere in Vrindavan and so-called come into the mood of Manjari by yourself. We listen to that, what we have heard from our great Manjaris who are self-realized, like Narottam Das Thakur, like Raghunath Das Goswami, like Rupa Manjari. There are so many who have come now with Sri Chaitanya, come to help us to get this mood, because this age is there to be distributed in these feelings. But don't give up hearing and chanting. As much as the external practices like hearing and chanting nourish the internal practice of smaran, that much the internal practice also awakens taste for external practices. So that is a very important point. Inside and outside, they go together. When we are listening the nectar of the songs of our Vaishnava acharyas, who are all followers of Chaitanya and Nityananda, so they are all manjaris, most of them are, then this will internally make us grow in our desires to hear more and to chant more. So inside and outside go together. Means my inside memories or meditations are nourished by hearing, by getting the vibration that is necessary. And that will nourish the smaran. So the listening katha, listening kirtan, listening from other Vaishnavas who have, somehow gotten the service from Gurudev to share. But, maybe they are not perfect like me. I'm not perfect. But I try to serve my Gurudev because he gives me this service. And that is my perfection. None of us are very much so elevated. I mean, there are few like very elevated souls, but most of us, our mercy is when we get some service from our Gurudev, and that is our mercy. So Gurudev gives the disciple according to what he can feel and see, different jobs, services. Like many of us are distributing prasadam, many of us are singing, many of us are, having families, having jobs. But when Gurudev is giving this service, now you take care of your family, that is your purification. That is your service. That will increase your feelings to surrender to, the circumstances in our lives as they are. Then this is blessed. When this blessing comes into my life, then I can be completely relaxed. Because by following instructions of Gurudev, slowly I will go step by step into that direction of developing my Manjari Bhav. And I remember last Italian Zoom, this Ramananda Roy Prabhu from Italy, he asked Gurudev that question, what is Guru Bhakti? You remember that? Maybe some of you heard it. And Gurudev said, yes, you have to blindly follow even. So means I can have full faith that what Gurudev is giving me as a service will help me to develop the right purity of the heart and the right feelings, so that my bhav, my development into a dasi bhav will be taken care of. I can trust. So we are very lucky if we have a Shri Guru who can take care and who cares for us in such a way that he is guiding with his beautiful, loving heart, so that my heart can also become more deeper and free from any external influences. Means not that I am leaving all my situations. No. But in any situation, I will be able to stay into that bhav. Or let's say I will develop more strength and more stable feelings to be in the feelings of a Manjari. I don't know about you, but this is my practice level at the moment. To be in the circumstances that this Sadhaka Deha is, and try to remember who I am all the time. And in this feeling, try to behave and speak and be as a dasi of Srimati Radhika. I'm not a realized dasi, that is for sure, but I am trying. So according to my level, I can only, follow blindly what my Gurudev is telling me. No, he's saying, okay, you go, you do this, and now you come to Vrindavan, and then I just follow blindly. And we can also consider ourselves very lucky if Gurudev is checking on us. I know usually my false ego does not like to be checked. No, always false ego is screaming, nah, I know myself what is good. But actually, when Gurudev is checking on us, we are very lucky. That is something we can be proud of. When he is asking, how are you doing? When are you coming to Vrindavan? That is good luck. So, I will continue with the purport. Again, also, with that point that I think is one of the main points here. As much as the external practices like hearing and chanting nourish the internal practice of smaran, that much the internal practice also awakens the taste for external practices. So, chanting, hearing, and internal meditation should always go on together. They are never separate from each other. They are always connected. Right, Gurudev, you agree? Oh, we get the thumbs up. Jai Ho, thank you. Sweet. Hey, Raipriya! Nice to see you in Vrindavan. We come soon. So, since they nourish each other equally, efforts to fix one's mind on Leela Smaran without taking shelter of external practices will not become fruitful. So again, Baba is making a point here. He says, we cannot do any Leela Smaran without intensive hearing and chanting. That is like the remembrance of something, even, in our human life, it is depending on how much I meditate on it and how much I speak on it. And sometimes I have to really cautiously watch my speaking because I know speaking is having a very deep impact on my chitta, on my mind. And then I catch myself, oh my God, I'm speaking so much nonsense that will not let my mind be very pure. So what I speak, what I think, all of this will impact my whole ability to go deep in my meditation. So we all know this, we all have this experience, and we can also learn how to watch ourselves. I always, once I said to Gurudev, just observing myself all the time and all my, things that are not going so well, I become sometimes depressed. And he says, yeah, that's the point. Then we take shelter. Then we have to take shelter because I cannot do it myself. I will never be able to really, go deeper by myself. We need to have this hearing, chanting, listening, exchanges. And why we have these Zooms classes, because without having this kind of association, it will be very hard. It's very more difficult. But every day, a little like a infusion, a little medicine for going into the direction of the right feelings. It is very positive, and it's very recommended. So thank you, all of you who are here to listen and to help, with your love and with your intention to go in the direction. Because if you don't listen, then I also don't need to speak. And then I also cannot purify. So we are connected, right? We are connected in our desires, we are connected in our efforts and in the desire especially to please Sri Guru, so that he will also guide us more and day by day. So also interesting, Baba says now, he says, first of all, do your smaran with hearing and chanting from the right sources or with the intensity to go deeper. But he also then says, again, to perform only external practices without practicing lila smaran cannot be called raga nuga marga bhajan. So this is another deep point. He says, when we do our chanting and hearing, but we don't go into the remembrance while we are chanting of what we have heard, it will also be very difficult. That is the point. So both are required. We are required to practice inside, remembering what we have heard, meditating about it while we are chanting, remembering, all the different leelas or the different points that have touched me. Like on Sunday class, we had one point that was touching me, because every one of us is very individual, also in their bhajan, in their meditation. So I was touched on Sunday's class, which was a great class, and Gurudev was inspiring us so much when going deep in the points and always, coming together to go more deep into the points. So I was touched, especially by that point that was made, that Sri Guru is, from all the scriptures, Sri Guru is be explained as the mercy of the Lord. No? Sometimes we hear that Sri Guru is the mercy of Srimati Radhika, which is also very true. But he made this point in another way now. And I love this so much. He said, Sri Guru, from all the scriptures, is regarded as mercy of Sri Krishna. So, my dear Srimati Radhika, I am the mercy case of Sri Guru. Sri Guru, bring me to you. He is, in this way, also prasad, the Sri Guru as Krishna's representative is giving me as prasad to you from Sri Krishna. So he says, Srimati Radhika, you cannot reject prasad from your beloved. That is such a sweet point. And why Baba is saying this? Yes, Labanga, you also agree. Thank you. Why Baba is saying this? Because he says, whether we say Sri Guru is the representative of Krishna, or we feel Sri Guru Manjari as representative of Srimati Radhika, both is right. There is no duality there. And in any case, please, Srimati Radhika, accept this prasad. Means I am just a very fallen, small soul that needs the mercy. And when Sri Guru is giving me to you, please even accept this mercy from your beloved Manjari, or from your beloved Krishna even. And then that was so clever when he is saying like this, you can never reject the mercy, the prasad that was given to you by Sri Krishna. Because Srimati Radhika, she never eats anything else but the prasad of Krishna. And you try to go deep in this point. Wow. Baba went into that meditation. Hey, Radhe! Radhe, Radhe! You came to Vrindavan! Jai Ho! Jai Ho, you're also there, my sweet. Kevala Bhakti. Wow! Radhe, Radhe. We are so happy to get your inspiration. You are in Vrindavan. You inspire us also. Give us some remnants of your mercy on our head so we also can follow you to the lotus feet of Gurudev. Radhe, Radhe. So settle in and take some rest and some sleep and be safe. Don't overdo it on the first day. Radhe, Radhe. I continue my class. So we see that if we see Shri Gurudev as a representative of Srimati Radhika, or if we see Shri Gurudev as representative of Krishna, please, my Swamini, take it. Take this dasi to your lotus feet. And especially when it comes from Krishna, you will never reject it, right? Because you only take prasad from Krishna. So, your beloved was bringing me to you, Guru, to your representative, to Shri Guru, to your disciple, your maidservant, or even your Vaishnava, who is serving you by bringing all these souls to your lotus feet. So I have a hope here, Srimati Radhika. That was my meditation, my small meditation that got stuck in my heart. So Baba is saying this also. Internal meditation is also not artificial. I don't sit down every day and I can meditate on anything. What we can meditate on, because the mind functions like this, that what is touching me. What I have some affection for. What I have some attachment. That's why it's so natural to think about our children, our jobs, our altar, because we have attachment. We want that they are happy, and we want that we can do some service, because our nature is to serve. So also, it's not that this smaran is not so, difficult to do. And Baba goes on further how to go into the lila smaran, or how to act in smaran naturally. But some smaran should be there, some remembrance. Otherwise, the chanting will be not so effective. Chanting Mahamantra is always giving some result. That's why Gurudev says, oh, you get this and this, you will. Lately, he said to me, I just want to take this example. Oh, you get a big garden, you get a bigger garden. So, this was your meditation. If I meditate about garden all the time, I will get a very beautiful garden. So whatever I meditate, consciously or unconsciously, I will get it. And he says, all those new practitioners or aspirants who are unable to meditate on their own Siddha Dehas or on Sri Radha Mohan's pastimes, but rather find this difficult to do, should initially not be too eager for Leela Smaran. So here, this is our case. No? If I cannot meditate so deeply on Srimati Radhika's, deep pastimes in the kunjas, then just start slowly. Or can I not, remember my that I am a Darcy? Then, start somewhere else. Start where you are feeling attraction in your heart. What you hear about Vrindavan, what you hear about the great Vaishnavas, that we start. With that meditation, it will be fruitful. No, Gurudev, this is a shower shampoo. You can use it for everywhere, whole body. Sorry. See, my meditation is with Gurudev, so I will have to look. It is very good, oily. Practical example.
With Suniti, we went together.
Put in a sample, please.
So whatever we meditate on, that will be connection. We meditate on Gurudev, what gifts to bring to Vrindavan, what he needs. Then there will be some connection. And that I can also follow in all kinds of activities that I do. And if I cannot meditate, like here, Baba says, oh, maybe I cannot meditate on my Sadhaka. I meditate on Radha Mohan, on Gurudev, and how he is so great in meditating deeply and helping me. Always we take the steps that are natural for us, and Gurudev will guide us. He will help us. Next step. Oh, where are you now? All these things they will be very positive if we follow the simple way. So Baba says, don't try to force yourself in your smaran. Forcing is not possible. We cannot move our hearts by force. It's not possible. That's why, in school, who are the best teachers? Those who love their students. And when the students love their teacher, they become very good. So we need to have some affection and some connection, and this will help the meditation. So he says, what does he say? What we should do? They should, along with hearing and chanting, practice some light and easy smaran, while hearing and chanting texts like Thakur Mahashai's Pratana and Prema Bhakti Candrika, or Sri Rupa Goswami's Stavamala, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Stavavali, Srila Krishna Das Babaji's Pratamrita Tarangini. So he's talking about scriptures that glorify Gopi Bhav or Raghunath Bhajan. And at the same time, try to cultivate Manjari Bhav in the heart. This Leela Smaran. Do you get it? This point is a very important point. If we cannot do this, like Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he also in 12th chapter, I think, or he says, if you cannot do this, you can do this, you can do this. There's always a step to the next step. So he says, if one cannot meditate, for example, on some higher, points of Manjari Bhav, like Siddhadeha meditation, then try to, read the verses of Srila Rupa Manjari or Rupa Goswami. Try to read what is attracting to you in our Shastras and come to the next level. And he is especially recommending Stavavali. That is also a collection of prayers. This is not only 10 prayers, it's a big book or 2 or 3 books. And he says, becoming attached to these topics So means hearing and chanting at the same time, becoming attached and get some excitement. Oh, did you read this verse? Oh, did you sing this song? It reminds me so much of this and that and this and that. This is how it starts. To be able to meditate deeply, we start always with the kind of attraction that we have already. That is the point. Do you agree to this, Gurudev? Blessings. We start with the attraction that we have. We start with the attraction to the Vaishnavas, to the Holy Dham. We start with hearing the katha that I really like. And then repeating this and purifying the heart by chanting, by listening. More attraction will come. And like the more attraction will come, the less there will be attraction to anything else. So, now comes very nice points. Being attached to their topics, in other words, being engaged in hearing and chanting about them. He makes a very nice point. Since Sri Krishna and the topics concerning him or Srimati Radhika are non-different, Sri Krishna enters the pathways of the sadhaka's ears through the mouths of the sadhu bhaktas who converse about them, and thus enters into their hearts, where he removes all dirt in the form of gross or subtle mundane desires, and thus making it a very clean place. This reminds me of one verse that we were chanting also, and Baba is quoting it now. But first of all, I want to just repeat it in my own words because it is so auspicious. Listening about Radha and Mohan's daily activities, or about their dancing, about their speaking, about how they smile, how they move, how they behave with each other and their devotees, that will go into the ear, and then through the ear, it will go into the heart. Because Gurudev always speaks about drinking with the ears, right? So, and then this channel is becoming purified and cleansed. Because they are not different from their names. They are not different from their places where they are living and where they are being glorified. And we all know this verse, Labanga, Latika, you know for sure also. Shringvatam svakata Krishna, punya shravana kirtana, ridyanta stoya bhadrani, vidunoti suritsatam. That is the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, where it says, when you always listen about the different kathas, Radha Katha, Krishna Katha, Gauranga Katha, Vaishnava Katha, Gurudev likes to especially also hear about glorification of the Vaishnavas. We are reading books about the different Siddha, Mahatmas, these souls that have lived or are living in Vrindavan. Hearing about them will not only be some nice story, but that will go from the ear directly into the heart, and there it will be like a purifying energy, or let's say intensifying energy for developing attachment. Now comes another point, what is helping to go deeper into Lila Smaran or Smaran. Finally, the blessed author says, the Raganuga sadhakas should always live in Vraj, always live in Vrindavan. If possible, to live in Braj physically, it will be the best. And if that is not possible, one should either live there mentally in your desires, in your meditations, or desire to live in Vraj physically. I remember maybe 4 years ago, there was this heavy time when we were all restricted to travel. And so many negative informations were going around the world about that, virus. And everyone was a little bit pressed of that because everybody thought, oh my God, I only have to stay home and be safe. Be home, be safe. All these stories that came with it. And also at that time, usually I always had a strong desire and wanted to go to Vrindavan. But at that time, some of my hopes went down. Because I thought, oh, now it is very bad time to travel. And, the whole world is not safe. We're infused with so much fear. And we all were also restricted. No, there were so many laws. They make it very difficult to go on a plane. Remember that, no? We have to do this and this and this test and this test. And my God, you had to fill out so many papers just to travel. And also at that time, my energy was a little bit. At that time, I remember that Maharani, my sister Maharani, she was with Gurudev. And I thought, how did she do it? It's a miracle. It's a miracle. She went to Vrindavan. And then Gurudev only wrote one word to me. And that word was desire. So I thought, oh good, my desires have become less because of fear, because of doubts, because of lethargy. It's too much. It will be too complicated. So I said, okay, if Maharani can do it, there is a way. If my sister has the power to overcome all the difficulties, I should learn from her. So then I tried to find out what is the different paperwork, and we go through all the different, and then in the end we could fly. So it was the desire that was blocked. And that happens to us human often. I have noticed in myself. Desires get blocked by fear. Desire get blocked by not so much belief. Desire get blocked because they are fixed in another way. So that is the secret. To live in Vrindavan or to always try to have association is to fix my desires on that and not to be overcome by different other emotions. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. And our Vraja, yeah, she's sitting there, this young lady with the pink. There she is.
Rajeshwari.
Rajeshwari is a living example of how desires can make everything possible to come to Vrindavan, to be in association. No? Is it true? You have always strong desires to be there, but nobody think you can do it. No, not so good circumstances, but by desire, nah? Yeah, you want to share on this?
Yes, Suniti, you can hear me?
Yes, Radhe.
Yes. What you say, it's you are my best example. I was very for 3.5 years with this PCR tests and this, no? And I always crying in the Zoom. And you say to me, you must ask Gurudev, he bless you. And after the blessing, 4 weeks, it's happened. That's magic. the money is come from singing, from kirtan singing, and another friend have gave me money for a fly. And this was also this many chaotic paper in the Corona time. And you was in the airport and say me also what they can do, what they have to do. And yes, this was really important. And now also this only the third time I'm here, third. And also this journey, it was magic. Also, we have only to pray, no? But you say right. I have also in the last year think, oh, I'm too low energy. I'm sick, maybe, don't know. But I have no money and this and this. That's also very big blocks. Here we are, another devotees I speak. We have also very magic. She are now here. So this is not with the brain, only with Gurudev blessings. When we really to go and we come over as fear, maybe when we have much fear, then it's a really point to ask Gurudev that he make it very quickly. Yeah, whole story about. Thank you. You are my best
Thank
inspiration
you.
in Germany. I have no other.
Thank you for your
Yes.
sharing, Rajeshwari. And that is
Yes.
the point that Baba makes. If not possible to live in Braj physically, one must either live there mentally or aspire to live in Braj physically. So in the mind also we can have a desire to go and to associate and to take we have to inhale the beauty of Vrindavan and not be stopped by any external considerations that might be in the form of, any kind of blockage that we have in our lives. That is always the mercy that we need to continue to get this vibration in my heart, because actually that's all I can take. Nothing else will go with me. Nothing. I have to leave all my houses. I have to leave all my cars, my family. Everything will go. But these vibrations of the heart that I cultivate with my soul, not by money, not by mind, the soul's impression, the impressions in the deepest chitta, that will go with us for the next destination to serve Srimati Radhika. That is why we go. That is why we associate and why we want to develop attachment with the brothers and sisters. Speaking too fast, Ananda? No? Okay, good. This Vrindavan is most charming and is my only abode. All the animals, the birds, the deer, the insect, the humans and demigods who reside there will attain my abode when they leave the body. This 10-mile Vrindavan is my very body, and the spine is formed by the Yamuna, the flow of supreme nectar. Here gods and humans live in subtle, extraordinary or spiritual bodies. This is actually, I forgot to read it. It's a book where Sri Krishna personally glorifies the residents in Vrindavan. Krishna says, Vrindavan is my only abode. All the birds, the deer, the insects, the flowers, who reside there will attain my abode when they leave their body. Gods and humans live in subtle, extraordinary or spiritual bodies there. I am the sum bonum, or the aggregate of all the demigods, and I never leave this abode. I appear and disappear here age after age. Beautiful Vrindavan. This lovely Vrindavan is very powerful, as it consists of pure sattva, Vishuddha sattva, and is invisible to the physical eyes. It's invisible to the physical eyes. It can only be felt with the heart, with the soul. Although it is the manifestations of Shri Krishna's transcendental Sandhini Shakti, or existence potency, out of its kindness, this abode is also visible to the eyes of the sadhakas in this world, so that they are easily able to attain Bhakti Siddhi. Which fortunate sadhaka will not take shelter of this transcendental abode for the attainment of Bhakti Siddhi? By taking shelter of Sri Vrindavan Dham and engaging in items of devotion like hearing and chanting in the company of the like-minded Rasika Bhaktas in the above-mentioned way, and as a result of practicing smadan, the basket-like hearts of the Raga Sadhaka will be cleansed by the fragrant stream of Bhakti's grace. Wow. Then the mind and intelligence will become fixed, and the sadhaka will gradually become deeply attracted to Sri Radha and Mohan. In this way, the love-scented desires, see, the desires are love-scented. They smell like love, are reflected within the heart of the attracted sadhaka while he or she performs their bhajan. Wow. This first colors the heart, which is softened by the taste, and then it will awaken the intelligence to give it certainty, and then it will make the ego absorbed in Svarupa Bhav, a mood according to one's intrinsic self. Bah, I'm sorry, the time is over, but these points are so deep. So we are meditating on Vrindavan with our hearts, with our feelings that we have had. Then these feelings will color the taste of the heart. And when this taste of the heart will be reflected in bhajan, in our bhajan, that will be reflected what the taste of our hearts is, where we feel really completely attached. And then the bhajan can go on nicely. And how is it? Then the sadhaka will perform his bhajan nicely, his mind always planning and desiring service. His intelligence being fixed in spiritual knowledge, and his ego identifying itself with the proper mood and personality, and his consciousness getting deep roots into bhakti and getting deep transcendental visions. Then the senses will perceive all these divine emotions while continuing to engage in hearing and chanting. See, these divine emotions will come into the heart and it will be perceived by transcendental senses. As the force of these emotions nourishes the sweetness of hearing and chanting, they automatically turn inside or inwards And taking shelter, gradually enliven and entertain all the inner faculties of the mind, intelligence and ego, with the attained and experienced feelings. These are the sadhaka's bhajana anubhava, the experiences in bhajan. Wow, this is very deep, and I feel just when I was reading it, first of all, I read it too fast because I think the time is over. So next Tuesday, I wish to continue this, read it again, and maybe also get some blessings of Gurudev with his commentary and his feelings. That will be very nice. So next Tuesday, we'll go with the verse 59 and how these steps are in attaining deep feelings while doing bhajan, and how these subtle ego, mind, and intelligence, these subtle energies connected to my identification, how they become purified. And I hope that you will all with us, and we can also ask Gurudev's question, because at the moment also there are many guests, right? So thank you all.